guests who are joining me. Garima Dasani is spokesperson of the Congress. Ruhi Tewari is with me in the studio. She is, of course, a senior journalist, and Hudi Zarawala is a political analyst as well. Thank you all. And I'm also being joined by Neoma Gupta of the BJP with me at this point. Uh, Thank you all for joining me. I know it's still relatively early, but it is I mean, it's not as one-sided as we felt in the morning, Ruhi, but from what we understand, it is still going to be a very bitter pill for the Aam Aadmi Party to swallow, because even in the best case scenario, it's not a position they're used to. They're used to being in a dominant position with 60 plus MLAs in the House. They will now have to either sit in the opposition or deal with a very, very strong opposition with the BJP.
Yes, so I think directionally it's been the same since the morning. I don't think the direction has changed, but
No.
of course the margins are slim. You can see in the New Delhi seat as well as Jampura's seat, which are Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Sisodia's seats respectively, oscillating. Very difficult to take that call and to say anything. But even if the Aam Aadmi Party, I feel, gets around 30, I mean, even if it loses, it's a respectable number in terms of being in the opposition. So it's not as if it will be a very, very weak opposition. Yes, of course, it's a huge drop from 62, but at the end of the day, I mean, that's what politics is about, right?
Yeah.
There is anti-incumbency sets in. A lot of voters get tired of you. It's not anti-incumbency. Actually, often is a very loosely used term. It's not just about anger. It's also about fatigue. So one has to see what happened here, or whether it was really an endorsement of the BJP, because that's also possible. It's not as much a vote against Kejriwal as it is a vote for the BJP and for the BJP's campaign. So all that will need to be seen.
So even if you're saying, even if Arvind Kejriwal loses New Delhi, and the significance of New Delhi is an important big, because Arvind Kejriwal came to New Delhi as the outsider. He ousted a former three-time chief minister, Sheila Dikshit, from the spot, and that was seen as a change of guard. If today the same happens with Arvind Kejriwal, this time he's on the receiving end, would you not look at it also as a verdict against Mr. Kejriwal?
It's an embarrassment for the former chief minister. Of course it is. You cannot deny that. But New Delhi, again, the composition of the seat is a bit tricky, and I think Mr. Kejriwal could have or should have fought from another seat, which perhaps would have been a safer seat. That would have been a politically prudent thing to do. But anyway, we don't know what the results are yet. I'm surprised by Greater Kailash,
Yeah.
because I would have thought Mr. Saurabh Bharadwaj was in a good position to win. Somewhere down the line, I feel maybe the vote is not a candidate vote, but a party vote.
Okay.
And I think that's perhaps what's happening in a lot of these
All right.
constituencies.
Speaking of the Aam Aadmi Party, I think I'm being joined by a spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Arnab Maitra is with us at this point. Arnab, if you can hear me, thank you so much for joining us on Mirror Now. I want to first speak about the verdict that we are getting from New Delhi at this point. Even going by the Election Commission website, it is a bit too close to call. Right now, Parvesh Verma is ahead, but it's still at a very slim majority. Even if Mr. Kejriwal manages to somehow squeak through and get a victory, isn't this a very significant moment, because Mr. Kejriwal came in as the outsider and ousted someone like Sheila Dikshit, who was a three-time chief minister from the New Delhi constituency. And today he is set to be ousted himself from that same seat by a son of a former chief minister. Would this not be seen as a verdict or a verdict emphatically against Mr. Arvind Kejriwal?
Look, I must tell you that I guess the sixth round counting is going on. So there are several other rounds are yet to come. So be rest assured that Arvind Kejriwal will win big in New Delhi. And not only Arvind Kejriwal, Aam Aadmi Party is all set to form this government. We have seen from the morning that the figures are changing very fast. And now as well, we can see as we speak that the figures are keep on changing. So we are very much hopeful that Aam Aadmi Party is going to form the government in New Delhi Assembly with comfortable majority.
No, Mr. Arnab Maitra, I don't think I agree with you at this point. Yes, the numbers have changed, but they're not fluctuating to a crazy degree. And our trends are more or less consistent with the Election Commission's trends. And even if you go by the Election Commission website here, in 7 out of the 8 constituencies where the vote margin is less than 1,000 at this point, they're all seats where the Aam Aadmi Party candidate is ahead. So at best, you can perhaps go to 30. So you are actually leading in all these close fights. It could get a lot worse. Even if you get past victory, isn't this a big loss of face? Because you are used to winning Delhi elections with 67-3, with 62-8. Something definitely has gone wrong. Will you not concede, Mr. Maitra, that this verdict gives you perhaps the need to introspect as to what went wrong against Arvind Kejriwal, against Aam Aadmi Party? By all accounts, they should have won it very convincingly, going by the optimism that you exuded.
It is consistent with a party like Aam Aadmi Party. We introspect each and every election, whether we win, whether we lose, whether we win big, whether we lose big. We introspect every time, and I believe that it will be too early to comment on the final results. So I am hopeful that we are going to form the government, but the
Okay.
numbers I'm not sure about it. So let us not talk about this. But as per the trends is showing, let me tell you, it will keep on increasing on Aam Aadmi Party's behalf.
Niyama Gupta from the BJP, do you share that sense of cautious pessimism that, let's wait for the numbers to come in? Or is the BJP already set to celebrate and come up with laddu and distribute laddus? Because let's be honest, this is perhaps, I'm sure looks to be the best performance BJP has done in several years, at least in the last 4 elections at this point. Is the 27-year-old jinx finally set to end in the national capital for your party?
Yes, I'm reasonably confident that the 27-year jinx is about to end, and I believe in the virtue of confidence and not overconfidence. So I'll wait for the laddus for a few more minutes. But just to say, the trends, the exit polls, and all the surveys always show the direction in which one is walking. And this time, BJP had a very positive and overreaching campaign, which I've said time and time again, where they highlighted all the evils of misgovernance when it came to Aam Aadmi Party. Misgovernance was when it came to health and education, and epic failures when it came to water crisis, the air pollution, Yamuna, roads, etc. So today the people, when it comes to the electorate, I think it's a emotion of frustration and anger to a government which was in power for 10 years and has relentlessly failed on all accounts. So while I respect the Aam Aadmi Party person's sentiment, I don't resonate with their theory, because blame game is a part of their cult. So today what we are seeing is a informed Delhi voters saying that I want a political party in power which will deliver to me the basic necessities and take Delhi to its lost glory. So here we are resonating on that.
Okay, one party we have not spoken at all so far at this point is the Congress party. But if you look at the scoreline, it is for good reason. There was a very dismal picture projected by the exit polls, and that seems to have come true. The Congress party is still at a duck at this point. Garima Dasani, representing the Congress, is with us at this point. Ma'am, there is one important figure which was being speculated, and now the Election Commission has come up with a detailed enough vote share. And that tells a very compelling picture. The Aam Aadmi Party's vote percentage is 43.5%, the BJP's is 46.7%, and the Congress's is 6.7%. If the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress had fought the election together, the vote share would have come to around 49%, which would have been 3% more than the BJP, and that would have probably completely changed the scoreline that we are seeing at this point. Will the Congress party now concede, Garima Dasani, that it was a strategic mistake by fighting elections separately from the Aam Aadmi Party, by having such a spirited campaign against the Aam Aadmi Party? Because let's be honest, you have only benefited the BJP.
No, not at all. It was a well thought of plan, and we did it after thinking a lot. And the way the Aam Aadmi Party has been spoiling our game in Haryana, in Goa, in Uttarakhand, in Punjab. So I think it's getting back what it has already sowed. So we thought of these strategies, and to make our base more strong, I think we should be hopeful, because our vote share has increased doubly. We have doubled up, and this is what we were aiming for. And in the near future, I think you can see Congress as a good option for the Delhi people. For 3 tenures, late Sheila Dikshit ji's regime was there, and look at the time. Initial 6 years were with Atal Bihari ji as a prime minister. Initial 6 years of Sheila Dikshit's as a chief minister, Atal Bihari ji was a prime minister. That time, nobody used to campaign like BJP leaders and go to different states and say, give us double engine, only then you will see progress. Give us double engine, only then your development is possible. This is a new card that BJP is playing, that it is denting, putting a dent on the federal structure of the nation, and going from one state to the other, saying that only the double engine works.
Garimaji, can you just clear?
See, the Delhi people are tired of
Garimaji, can you just
Kejriwal,
clear
that is
one
for
thing
sure.
for me?
Can I come in here?
Garima ji, can you please clear one thing? Garima ji, can you clear one thing? No, no once again, I think I'll just come to you, ma'am. Garima ji, clear one thing to me. Who does
Yeah.
the Congress see as its number one opponent or number one rival? Is it the Aam Aadmi Party or is it the BJP?
At present, it is in Delhi, it is Aam Aadmi Party, because Aam Aadmi Party follows Congress wherever the Congress has got a strong foothold. As I have named the states to you, Uttarakhand, we were neck to neck with BJP. Aam Aadmi Party, which has no base here, it comes to Uttarakhand and spoils the game. Then it goes to Haryana. Kejriwal ji comes out Tihar jail and announces, without even having a discussion with our leaders, he announces that he will fight in all seats of Haryana and spoils the game there also. In Punjab, what he did. In Goa, what he did. So wherever, in Gujarat, what he did. So he has been spoiling, and I don't know why the question is always to the Congress party to take the Aam Aadmi Party along with them. Why the Aam Aadmi Party? Is it the arrogance of the Aam Aadmi Party or Mr. Kejriwal that all the time he will have the say? All the time it's Kejriwal's way or the highway? I mean, he should be asked to mellow down and to learn to compromise. And this time, the
Okay,
mandate is
since
not
you're
for BJP in Delhi. The mandate is anti-incumbency against the Kejriwal, complaining, the winning, whining, the bickering, the accusations, the
no, no,
allegations. The people of Delhi are tired of it. The
Garima ji, if it's
melodrama which
not a
happens
mandate
every
for
second day.
Arvind Kejriwal, if it's not, I don't understand. If it's not a mandate for Kejriwal, if it's not a mandate for the BJP, who is it a mandate for in Delhi here at this point?
I
It is
say
definitely not a mandate for the Congress party here. I know.
it's the mandate against the Kejriwal drama. It's the mandate against his complaint as a complaint box. It's the anti-incumbency
Okay,
mandate. I said this
I
is
need,
people have not voted for
in all
BJP.
fairness,
People have voted
in all
against
okay, in all
Kejriwal.
fairness, I need to, in all fairness, I owe the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson a rebuttal because you have been coming up with so many strong words, and after that I'll go to Ruhi because she wanted to come in. Arnab Maitra, some very strong words coming in from your Congress co-panelists. They're saying that this is revenge for what happened in Uttarakhand, happened in Haryana, what happened in Gujarat, where the Aam Aadmi Party was being seen as a vote cutter, which hampered the chances of the Congress. Now it's the now it's your party which is at the receiving end. How do you feel about that?
I feel very good about this because at least she has committed this on air. She has accepted this on air that they were fighting this election to take some revenge. It might be some from
Of the Delhi BJP, there is a subplot playing there as well because there are so many people, as I said, success has many fathers, and a lot of people from the BJP will want to come in front of the camera and give their views as well. Ruhi, you wanted to make a point.
Yes.
Garima was not wrong. The fact remains that whether it be in Haryana, whether it be Uttarakhand, whether it be in Gujarat, and now in Delhi, the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party have taken votes of each other. Even in Delhi, no Congress voter would have otherwise voted for the BJP. That person would have voted for the Aam Aadmi Party if the Congress was not in place. In the larger picture, if the Congress still looks itself as a primary opposition and looks at the BJP as its primary rival, aren't these scenes, and we have seen Omar Abdullah Street also, aren't these moves not only dangerous in terms of losing state governments to the BJP, but also completely demolishing this overall India bloc's unity, which I don't think exists anymore?
Actually, I completely disagree. One, what is this thing of saying Aam Aadmi Party spoils everything for us in various states? It's a political party. It has a right to fight elections
Fair
whenever
enough.
it wants to. I think it's an affront to our democratic process the minute we start calling a legitimate political party a spoiler. Similarly, I have a view on the Congress not fighting with the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. Why should the Congress not look to rebuild itself? How much can it piggyback on its allies? I mean, that's destroying the Congress across states. In Uttar Pradesh, Congress has no base now because all it's done is fight with the Samajwadi Party. So I think it's completely legitimate for political parties to want to fight elections, to build their base, whether it harms the BJP, whether it harms another opposition party, it's not for that party to worry about. The sole aim of every political party in this country cannot be to defeat the BJP. Because that defeats the purpose of that political party being a political party, right? You're not just an
I
anti-BJP
agree with
party.
you, but the point,
Just one thing I want to come in very quickly about Atishi trailing. Actually, I've been meaning to make a point about this for a while. I think the messaging of how Atishi was made chief minister and how she functioned as chief minister was so disappointing. As a woman, I think to make a woman chief minister and then to make her seem like some kind of a rubber stamp, and she is also not sitting on the CM's chair. She's saying, "वो तो केजरीवाल जी के लिए खाली है." वो he's such poor optics, such poor messaging. Even if you're
True.
chief minister for a bit, please be the chief minister. Respect that chair. That's a constitutional position. You cannot just say कि वो तो वहीं वो बैठेंगे. राम जी के खड़ग रख दिए वाली situation नहीं हो सकती है ये. Very, very bad optics from a gender point of view, from a political point of view, and generally from an ethics point of view. How can you not be chief minister while being chief minister? I think she has not played her game over the last few months well at all.
I think it has backfired. There's no doubt about it. When you look at all the important Aam Aadmi Party leaders, I think, bar none, I think, apart from, I think, Gopal Rai, all of them are having very difficult battles or they're on the losing side. Clearly, this leadership succession, while Mr. Kejriwal stayed as chief minister while he was in jail, and when he came out, then he put Atishi in charge. And as Ruhi pointed out, Atishi was very clearly insistent that she is only a temporary chief minister or interim chief minister, didn't work. But Niyama Gupta ji, since you wanted to come in at this point, the subplot that will now develop in the BJP is the point that, yes, and I'll concede one of the main criticism I kept asking you again and again. Niyama Gupta ji, my question first. Who will be the next chief minister candidate from the BJP? It's a cliched question, but it matters here because for the last 10 years, the BJP has not been able to put forward a consistent face who can be seen as the head of the BJP unit here. In a party unit which has now finally gotten in a state unit which has now finally gotten the chance to form a government here, is that not going to be a big concern? We have so many people. You have Satish Upadhyay, Ramesh Biduri, you have Parvesh Verma if he wins this election. You have Mr. Manoj Tiwari also coming in at this point. It's a problem of plenty.
So, hi. So basically, we'll have a very good face for the people of Delhi and a person who's going to rule the government from his brain and from his heart, or from her brain and heart. And as you've seen, the face doesn't matter. You've seen in the face of Mr. Kejriwal's situation, I mean, he was a face which has been the biggest negative to the Aam Aadmi Party because of his constant lies and deceit. His projection was pretty obvious with the intention with which he's walked forward. I just want to make a quick rebuttal to the Congress person who was constantly criticizing the way BJP had functioned. Honestly, to speak, it takes guts to even try and defend the Congress considering they don't have many seats, as we can see at the bottom of the TV screens in every channel. Lastly, when it came to the Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, I think he made an accusation that Congress and Delhi, Congress and BJP are together, if I'm not mistaken. Am I right?
Yes. I mean, to be fair, all three parties have accused the other two parties of being B teams of each other.
I mean, to be honest, I mean, how bitter is their breakup that they are speculating relationship statuses with other people? Please, retrospect, you have failed miserably as a government, and that is why today you are not going to come back into power. So instead of again blaming another, I mean, a hallucinating concept, learn to retrospect. There's a time and place for arrogance in politics, which is completely diminished in your situation. And when it comes to Congress, I keep saying they should be called Congress. Okay, I have to sign out now. I have to go to another channel. Thank you.
All right, Niyamaji, thank you so much for joining us at this point. Garimaji, I'll let you respond to that. Interesting point you mentioned in your opening remarks that you cited Sheila Dikshit ji and you cited how she performed when Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was in power. That's a refrain that I kept hearing from the Congress throughout when we had Congress panelists and guests on our show, that we want to remind people of the glory days of Delhi, which were under Sheila Dikshit and all this point. Did that not backfire? Because at the end of the day, not only has it been, and with all due respect to Sheila Dikshit ji, she was a fantastic leader, fantastic chief minister. All my co-panelists will agree with that. It's been more than 12 years since her party was booted out. And since then, it felt almost as if the Congress was trying to put Sheila Dikshit ji as a chief minister candidate because it did not have any new ideas, did not have any new visions or any new suggestions of its own. Would you say that perhaps is something which has cost the Congress party even more?
No, ever since 2014, Pradhan Mantri Modi has stepped in. The politics is changing of the country, and Congress is not to be blamed because, see, if in cricket we say that Australia, South Africa, India are the best of teams, if they lose a game, that doesn't mean the players are bad. So in politics, winning and losing is a part of game. As Ruhi said, I would just like to request Ruhi that when I say that the Aam Aadmi Party is following Congress wherever, in whichever state Congress has a full chance of winning the election. Why can't they muster the courage to go to other states? If they want a foothold, if they want to create a base for themselves, if they want to create a space for themselves, why Aam Aadmi
Okay, Garima
Party
ji,
cannot
your
have
point has
the
been
courage
taken.
of
Your party.
Please stop blaming your losses on one party or the other. Are you winning in Madhya Pradesh? Are you winning in Rajasthan? Are you winning in Assam, which are bipolar contests with the BJP and where there are no spoilers, so to speak? So I think the Congress needs a serious introspection. It needs to sit back and reflect on where it is going wrong. And we've been saying that for the last 10 years now. There was a glimmer of revival in the Lok Sabha elections, all gone down the drain in Haryana and Maharashtra. Having said that, I still maintain, I respect the decision of the Congress party to fight the elections on its own and not take on the responsibility of just defeating the BJP and propping up any other opposition party. Just one last thing I'd like to say, that for the BJP, it looks like it's on its way to form the government.
Yeah.
It's a long wait, not just for Delhi in terms of the fact that it's not been in power in Delhi, but Delhi is also a prestige battle.
Yeah.
In Modi's name, BJP has managed to win from Gujarat to Tripura. I mean, I saw the kind of craze in the 2018 Tripura elections for Narendra Modi, in the UP 2017 elections for Narendra Modi. Across states, he's won in his name. Delhi has eluded him. Mr. Kejriwal was very, very astute in keeping the BJP at bay. This, I think, would be a lot of vindication for the BJP and Mr. Modi's leadership, particularly after the kind of setback they saw in the Lok Sabha elections.
Well, that's an excellent opportunity for me to get in my BJP guest. I believe Mr. Tom Vadakan is joining us, national spokesperson of the BJP, with me, Esteban. Mr. Vadakan, good morning and congratulations. I would say in the last few minutes, the picture has gotten a bit stronger at this point for the BJP. 46 to 24 against the Aam Aadmi Party, as Ruhi, as our co-panelist was telling us. This would be a sweet victory in multiple reasons, because in the entire northern belt, I mean, I would say entire belt outside the south, this was the one city state which had eluded Mr. Modi's team for so long. And definitely victory here will see, I mean, one would assume that you are on your way to victory, will feel a lot sweeter than a normal election.
Well, we have been a long way away from Delhi. Now we are not just in the doorstep of Delhi, we are in Delhi. And this, I think, is a message from the Delhi electorate to the people of India that BJP guarantees are working. Prime Minister Modi has led this campaign and has led it how? He has made not just promises, but he has made guarantees that every social welfare scheme will continue, and we will top it up with wherever there is a requisite. We keep our financial issues compact. We know Delhi is one of the highest taxpayers in the country. We will return to those people whatever social welfare schemes that has been guaranteed by the Prime Minister, and we will stop no scheme that has been going on in Delhi. Unlike a lot of parties, like we saw in Punjab, they have made promises before elections and they have not delivered for the last 3 years. I'm referring to the welfare funds that were to be given to women. That has not been delivered. When it is not delivered and it is promised to win election, that is perhaps that matches the word freebies. When you promise and deliver their social welfare schemes guaranteed by the economic agenda that will be pursued by the political party. This is essentially turning out to be a referendum against the AAP government, the India Alliance, and the Congress Party. The Congress Party has yet again tried to launch the Rahul Gandhi once again, but has failed miserably. It's time for them to retrospect and find out what's wrong instead of creating narratives blaming the election commission. Now the next narrative that they will work out, first they've tried the batteries have failed, Then there was a list that was expanded by the BJP. The third narrative was the EVM. I hope and pray that they don't try something of that kind again, because people of India have woken up. It's time to retrospect,
No, Mr. Vadakan.
correct your wrong directions. Look at the situation that.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Vadakan, you mentioned just now that that the BJP will not stop any of the existing schemes. It will then build on them. Then isn't this an admission that on the fundamentals of the Aam Aadmi Party's governance model, on which the party was in power by a stupendous margin for 10 years, were sound? Is it not a grudging acceptance of the fact that the only reason perhaps why your party is on its set to government is not because you had revolutionary different ideas of its own, it's because perhaps there was some sort of fatigue, there's some sort of an anti-incumbency against the Aam Aadmi Party, perhaps there were vote division by the Congress which brought the party's performance down.
Their manifesto was a copy paste of Aam Aadmi Party.
Well, let me be very candid about it. Let me be very candid. Whatever welfare schemes we try to initiate, especially the Ayushman health scheme, was strongly blocked by the APDA government. We developed the metros, we developed the highways. There was no way that this government, the central government, has avoided development in Delhi. Instead, they have put their best foot forward. Now, as to the schemes that are not will continue, this is an assurance by the Prime Minister himself, who has led this campaign from the front. And why? Because essentially, wherever there is a requirement, we will fulfill it. We will audit it according to so that the recipients are the correct people, that they go and ensure that it goes to the last man who deserves it, and not to some falsified entity who tries to take advantage of a scheme that is there for the welfare of the people. We will filter it to ensure that it reaches the right people. And that's a promise that the Prime Minister has given, no less. And the guarantees of the Prime Minister has been accepted by the people of Delhi. This is an indication of that.
Okay. Arnab Maitra is the spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. I let him respond to what Mr. Vadakan has been saying. But Arnab, also I want to bring in what our panelist Ruhi was also pointing out just a while back. I beg your pardon. If one was to assume that the fundamentals of the Aam Aadmi Party's governance model, this Kejriwal's magic or Kejriwalji's guarantees are sound, because your party did come to power 10 years with two great victory margins on that. Then it comes down to the fact that this defeat of the Aam Aadmi Party, and let's call it a defeat now, it's not 25, the numbers have been static for a while now. This defeat of the Aam Aadmi Party comes down to other aspects. Isn't it ironic that for a leader who came to power in 2013 on the plank of A, being anti-corruption, and B, wanting to live a common Aam Aadmi life, the two biggest criticisms against Mr. Arvind Kejriwal was this entire hullabaloo over Sheesh Mahal and the Liquorgate scandal?
Firstly, it is just the halfway done. As far as my information is concerned, it is just the halfway done. So I believe that there are plenty of scope for the numbers to change and reverse, and I believe that will reflect in the screens in some time from now. Number one. Number two is, when you talk about corruption, look, if we have done a single rupee corruption, then we would have become a Hemanta Biswa Sharma or a Shubhendu Adhikari or a Ajit Pawar or a Chhagan Bhujbal. Why I'm saying this? Because BJP claimed Hemanta Biswa Sharma to be a thief when he was in Congress, but immediately he was made the chief minister of Assam when he joined BJP. Shubhendu Adhikari was a thief when he was in the Trinamool Congress, and the next day when he joins BJP, he becomes the leader of opposition in West Bengal. Ajit Pawar likewise is the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra. So let us not hear lecture from Bharatiya Janata Party, because they are the most corrupt party and they have a simple tagline: if you have done corruption, please come to us, AK to safe hai. This is their tagline. So I must comment on this, that if you tell these things about the alleged Sheesh Mahal, what do you have? We asked the Delhi police and the BJP government in the center and the BJP party in Delhi to open it for everyone. Let people see this. They have continuously lied on those things. And when they wanted to complete the election on Sheesh Mahal over Sheesh Mahal, we asked them to open the Raj Mahal as well. Look, the CM's residence is a CM's residence. It's no one's personal property. So when you term this as Kejriwal's personal property, this isn't right. So
Okay.
when a CM changes, the CM house will be awarded to him or to her. That's the basic things. So why should this does not concern the Delhi people? The Delhi people are concerned about the development, about the money that has been saved in their accounts due to this excessive
But somewhere
inflation
that
rate
narrative has not
made
worked.
artificially by
Arnabji,
BJP.
somewhere that narrative has not worked. You can, you can continue to be as optimistic as possible, but in my 15 years, we have never seen a turnaround from this stage where all of your senior party leaders are trailing or fighting to just be ahead. When you are 25 out of 70, from here on, I've never seen a turnaround to come back to the kind of victory margin that you're hoping for. Mr. Vadakan, you wanted to respond?
Just 20 seconds. If you can give me 20 seconds, I will read out the list where the margins are
Well,
I
below
will come back.
200 crores.
Arnabji, I
I
will
would
come back
like
to you.
to, I would like to
Arnabji, I will come back to you. Mr.
refute.
Vadakan responds.
I would like. I would like to know why was the CAG report, which reportedly said 90 crores was spent on Sheesh Mahal. 90 crores, 10 lakhs on a commode, believe me you. Curtains worth crores. Marbles came from where? Now, Sheesh Mahal or whatever mahal that they built during the COVID period is an eyesore. We will convert that into a museum, and rest assured no chief minister from BJP will ever enter
Okay.
Sheesh Mahal, because we do not believe
All
in
right.
cheating the
Okay, okay.
taxpayer, the exchequer, and creating. And this, when was it built? It was when Delhi was suffering from COVID and we did not have oxygen cylinders for people who were dying. This is the situation of Delhi. They talk about
Okay.
corruption. They have
Okay,
become the
Arnab wants to come in at
motherboard
this
of
point, but
corruption.
Arnab wants to come in and okay, I think we are. I mean, with all due respect to you, sirs, political season is over here. Allegations will continue to fly across both parties. Arnab, you do have a chance to rebuttal, but also answer me this question. The point was being made that if at all, if your party felt that your top leadership was clean, if your top leadership was singled out, did it not handle this entire chief ministerial position in a bad way? For 6 months, when Mr. Kejriwal was in jail, he insisted that he will continue to be chief minister, despite the fact that he was effectively not being allowed to work. Then, when he comes out, and then the Supreme Court puts riders on it, then Mr. Kejriwal finally decides to step down from his position, and then the terrible optics of having a woman chief minister openly saying that she is subservient, that she is sitting in the chair next to the chief minister's chair, and that in a few months Mr. Kejriwal will come out. Did that not really insult the fans and the voters of both Mr. Kejriwal and Atishi, which is why perhaps you're seeing that in the trends at this point, both of them are trailing?
Look, I don't believe those to be the reasons, because as Atishiji rightly said, that she will be doing her duties as the CM of Delhi, but keeping in mind that Arvind Kejriwal is about to come back to this chair, number one. Number two, as far as the Supreme Court is concerned, when BJP asks the Supreme Court whether they can influence or force Arvind Kejriwal to step down, the Supreme Court clearly said that they don't have the right to say our elected chief minister to step down. That is not the part of the jurisdiction. And another thing I must tell you, when Arvind Kejriwal was in jail, he have not resigned. Why? Because this was the narrative set by the Bharatiya Janata Party. When an opposition leader is there, find its chief minister, put him into jail, and then topple the government. This is the DNA of the Bharatiya Janata Party. That is why he has not resigned. And he has not resigned after coming out of the jail under any kind of compulsion. He did it by his choice. And Atishi ji became the chief minister, and she worked very hard over the past 6 months of her tenure.
But it somehow didn't connect because, again, as I say, Mr. Kejriwal is trailing, Ms. Atishi ji is trailing, Sisodia ji is trailing. Your three topmost leaders, the people who have been chief ministers and deputy chief ministers of the party, are trailing. So definitely something did go colossally wrong for the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's now talk about the larger picture at this point. Mr. Vadakan, I know you'll probably hate to be asked this question, but about your former party, the Congress Party. We have the spokesperson Garimaji saying, and to be fair, she was supported also by many of our panelists as well, that it is every party's right to contest elections separately and then perhaps have an ideological consolidation at the center. But when you look at how fractured the Aam Aadmi Party Congress and how bitter this election battle was fought, does this, in your assessment, not completely wreck at least their alliance in the India bloc or at least on national standings?
Well, the India alliance was I should say they were broken from the beginning. Ideologically, they were not together. There was opportunism in the whole glue that brought them together. It was hatred towards BJP and our Prime Minister Modi ji. Now, you can't deliver anything on the basis of hatred and venom. The Congress Party launched their Rahul Gandhi couple of times, not couple, at least 4-5 times. All those launches have failed. Now they're trying to independently fight. Well, they are welcome to do it, but the point remains that they have not been able to move much in Delhi. Or, I mean, from the current statistics, there's still zero. So the point here remains, they have to do a rethink and rethink and go back to the board and decide who's the leaders that they should project and what is the ideology that they stand for. You can't have ideology based on hatred of a party or a political leader. I think they will build up counter narratives for their failure, which I think will be seen in the following days. But people of India will not accept any counter narrative because this is the mandate not just of Delhi, but Delhi represents India. So you have a mixed population of people from all over the country in Delhi. So this is exactly what I call a
I have
nemesis
two
against
questions.
hatred. You cannot run or govern any.
Okay,
Yeah, you
go on.
cannot
Go on,
govern any
Garimaji. Go on,
country
Garimaji.
based on
Go on.
hatred against any political party.
See, the BJP spokesperson is an
Ga-
elderly figure, and with full respect, I would like to ask few questions to you, sir. That why is it so that Miss late Sheila Dikshit ji initial 6 years with Atal Bihari Bajpayee ji, we saw beautiful coordination between the central government and the state government, and Delhi. I stayed in Delhi during that regime for 6 years, and I saw development and progress of Delhi happening. So many flyovers coming in, so many other works by Shiraji could be done just because of the support of Mr. Atal Bihari Bajpayee. Why can't we see the same thing from the central government now? Why is it so that, a Sotela
Very
Vyavahar
good
is
question.
done with the other party government if they are there in the other states? And also, why the only during this Modi regime that the people have lost faith in the electoral system? People have started questioning the Election Commission of India. Why people have started asking that it's not a fair and transparent process? And yesterday's, if I quote the chronological event, yesterday evening, what happened? That the Aam Aadmi Party leveled accusations and allegations against BJP. The BJP writes letter to the LG. The LG within an hour sends the ACB to Kejriwal's residence. Now that proactiveness is missing when Mr. Rahul Gandhi, along with two tall leaders, hold a press conference and give the details of the Maharashtra elections. The 39 lakh voters were added. So you people are now banking upon two policies. One is adding and subtracting the voters from the voter list, and number two, double engine sarkar, which is a dent to the federal government, which I think
Okay,
is going to be very dangerous
let's
for the democracy.
Two very valid
Yes, sir.
questions raised, Garimaji. Tom Matakan, comment on that. Now,
Can I
I was
answer that?
speaking. I was speaking to a voter once in Delhi, and that Mr. Vadakan, yes, I just wanted to add my question to it as well. I was speaking to some voters in a personal capacity. Their response going into Delhi is that, listen, even if we do elect the Aam Aadmi Party, this constant bickering between the center and the state government will ensure that no work ever
Yes.
gets done. So might as well then vote for the BJP. Is this not unfair? Because is it not a coincidence? Is it really a coincidence that in every opposition ruled state, you have the governor locked in a flashpoint with the chief minister? It's happening in Delhi, it happened in Tamil Nadu, it happened in West Bengal, it happened in Kerala, it's happening in Jammu and Kashmir. Is this appropriate for the BJP through the offices of the governor to constantly be locked in conflicts with the elected state governments here to give an impression of a governance paralysis so that Mr. Modi's claim of a double engine sarkar being good for the country gets automatically gets a lot more attention and is seen favorably?
See, you will have to give me time for answering all the questions. You cannot compare apples and oranges.
Go ahead.
Each case study, whether you take Kerala, for example. Let's start with Kerala. The governor has changed. A new governor is in place. What are the differences that have cropped up between the left government and the governor then? The first differences was about the appointment of vice chancellors, which was the right of the governor to nominate. The left wanted left candidates to be nominated in the academics. That was the first contest. Second, today, the day before yesterday, the budget was announced. What are the tolls that they have now increased? All roads built by the state government and connecting roads will collect toll tax. Finances are such a miserable condition that they don't have money to pay salaries, pensions, and what have you. Financial situation is so bad, the governor has not responded to any such issue. He has agreed to all what the state government is doing. So there is cohesiveness in the Kerala governor and the state government. Now that is the case of Kerala. Now Tamil Nadu, the latest difference is about the national anthem. The convention is that the national anthem is sung in the house. Now that has been changed by the DMK government. Isn't the right of the governor to intervene on a constitutional issue? Isn't it proper and appropriate for the governor to direct the state government to hold on to constitutional priorities? And he has all bills that are pending are connected with controversies regarding the appointment of the vice chancellors and positions that the DMK government have taken, which does not go into the national framework. So these are issues. Each issue should be taken on an individual capacity. Now, as to the question of Sheila Dixit, if Vajpayee ji government and Sheila ji's government could have worked properly, and they've worked, they've shown results, why can't the APDA government and the LG go together? We wanted to bring the health scheme in Delhi. So they protested about it. But we have not stopped any development, whether it's the development of the railways, it is the development of the highway,
so you're saying,
the
Mr.
metro,
Vadakan, it is
all development
you're saying, Mr. Vadakan,
infrastructure
there's
has
not
been
a
met
common
with.
pattern. It's not a common pattern. These are separate incidents. Every governor versus government flashpoint is a separate thing, and the government is as much to blame as any other party. Fair enough. I mean, I can barely hear you because of the firecrackers, which are at this point being burst at the BJP headquarters. Once again, one important issue which was never mentioned right now in the entire election campaign was air quality. And with the air quality reaching that level, I don't know whether, I think a cracker ban is still supposed to be in place, but we have seen crackers being burst. Mr. Vadakan, thanks for getting us your views as well. I think if Garimaji is still with me, I just have one short last question to you. Garima Daswani, the points which you mentioned, whether it be central interference or federal structure being impinged or questions over electoral transparency. These are important national issues. They should be raised with ideally with all states united opposition raising this with the BJP. That is what an India bloc was supposed to do. After this election, after the war of words you've had, what honestly is the future of the India bloc? Your allies like Mr. Omar Abdullah looking at and are openly lamenting on the fact that that India bloc allies, non-BJP parties are squabbling amongst themselves, letting the BJP win, hurting each other's prospects here. How do you, for the sake of your points which you mentioned, how do you put those points agar if you're not united at the national level, if you continue to bicker around the way the Congress has been doing it with some of its India bloc allies?
See, sometimes you have to bear with the partners if the other partners are, the other partners want you to be with them. So Aam Aadmi Party came into the India bloc because the others wanted it to come. But as far as our cadre and our worker wants a separate and full-fledged elections in every state now. That has been a voice of millions of our workers pan-India across the breadth and length of the nation. But here I would like to say my
Okay.
question to the BJP spokesperson was taken wrong. I said that why is it selective and why is it so suitably chosen? Pick and choose, which we call that. If Mr. Rahul Gandhi with two
Fair
tall
enough. Well,
leaders are holding
Garimaji,
a press conference, it should be of
Garimaji, we'll
importance. It
have to
should
leave
be.
it at that, unfortunately. This is a national debate, and I think this is a far bigger issue. I don't want it to be buried under the Delhi election rubble. These are just points to ponder. Thank you so much, Garimaji and Tom Arkanji, and all to my other panelists as well who have joined me through.